Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Lipke. I am the medical librarian at the Missouri campus of ATSU, and I am the liaison librarian for the program of nursing. So we've talked about citation formats, and we've talked about plagiarism. We've talked about how to find the evidence that we need, doing advanced searches through the ATSU databases and through PubMed. So we're in the process of collecting all of this evidence for your capstone. But let's take it a little lighter and just talk about what things to consider when you're writing your project. When you're first starting out, start very broadly. Just look and see what are different scholars discussing when they're talking about your topic. Start very broad. Choose one little key element in your complex question to discuss and to research. Keep an open mind. Let the literature guide you. Remember, you must have an in-depth understanding of the current evidence to determine where your proposal fits within the larger conversation. Can the problem or proposal be framed in such a way that builds upon existing evidence or counters previous published findings? Again, let the literature guide you. Broaden your topic. Look for subtopics of interest. Keep an open mind and be flexible. We don't know where the literature is going to guide us for this, in this topic, in this conversation. What is the current conversation? Search for conversations about the population, or conversations about the intervention, or conversations about the outcome. Choose one element of your PICO format to do your research. And look to see how your proposal will fit within that conversation. What you start out with might not be what you end up with. The literature may guide you in a completely different direction than what you originally planned. Please be open-minded and flexible when it comes to this. It will help you out and it'll be less frustrating. So when you get into DNPP 8000, you will be required to present a synthesis of evidence search strategy, which we talked about. That's our search log, and a preliminary literature review, which will include at least 20 articles of evidence. This is the backbone of your study. Think of each vertebrae as a piece of evidence. It provides a strong foundation for your proposal. Remember, we talked about in the first tutorial that each piece of evidence is a building block. It provides evidence to support our proposal. The purpose is to understand the larger conversation and to synthesize the evidence to support your proposal. You want to find evidence that supports your perspective and positions your argument within the synthesis. Or are we finding the gap? The gap in the evidence. So sources are placed within a conversation. They are not isolated examples. So what is the evidence synthesis process? When we find articles that address our topic, we want to ask similar questions of each source of evidence. Are they using similar methods to evaluate the problem? Are they using similar arguments? What is the relevance of your study compared to theirs? Are the authors addressing the same problem or population, the same intervention, the same outcome? What evidence are the authors presenting? And then group similar articles of evidence together. I have one stack that addresses the population that I'm interested in, one group of articles that provide evidence for the intervention, and another group of evidence for the outcome. So once we have these articles accumulated that address the different aspects, that provide evidence to support these different aspects. Do a quick summary on each article. Do an annotated bibliography for yourself. Provide a summary of each article that you plan to include in your literature review. What topic does the study address? What questions does it answer? What evidence does it provide? This will help you remember which article to use in which portion of your literature review when you're providing this evidence. Articles A through F provide evidence about my population. Articles G through O provide evidence about my intervention. Articles P through U provide evidence for my outcome. And provide a summary for each of those articles so that you know which article to paraphrase or summarize within your literature review for which sections and which topics. And does your overall proposal answer the following questions? So once you accumulate all of this evidence, does it justify your proposal? Does it show that your proposal is significant to the profession? Do you have enough evidence, enough background literature to support going forward with your proposal? Is your proposal an original concept? Does it forward the evidence in a new context? Does it forward the profession? Does your proposal challenge existing evidence? Can you identify the gaps or the holes in the evidence and propose going forward in a new direction? Does your proposal extend existing evidence? Can you take it that one step further? Have you synthesized the existing thread of evidence within the literature? Have you synthesized the conversations that everyone is having about this particular topic? And how do we find the gap? So after you answered all of those questions on the previous slide, then you need to answer how and why to demonstrate the gap. So you have all the existing evidence. It's presenting this information in a certain direction. Now remember, this might not be the direction you originally thought you were going in, but this is what the evidence is showing. You're being a detective. You've got all of this founding background research, this existing evidence. It's presenting it in this format. But your proposal focuses on blank with attention to blank. And my final tips for things to consider when writing your capstone. This is a marathon. Keep a steady pace. This is not something, remember, you're moving from student to scholar now. This is not a paper you're going to get done in 1 week. This is something that you're going to be working on for a long time. It's a process. Keep yourself organized. Remember, you want to do an evidence of the synthesized search, and that's a strategy. Keep a search log. Keep your list of synonyms. Document your searches because we want these searches to be transparent and reproducible. Take the time to learn a citation manager. This will help you in the end. The last thing you want to do is to be running around last minute trying to find the citation for an article that you're citing. The citation managers will help with the in-text citations, and it will help with the reference page. Do an annotated bibliography just for yourself. These summaries of these articles that you're including will help you stay organized. A capstone is one final document composed of hundreds of revisions. Keep this in mind. These revisions, these editorial comments from the faculty are meant to be constructive feedback. These are teaching and learning opportunities. Don't get discouraged. Even professional writers get hundreds of editorial comments and do hundreds of revisions. This is normal. You are not being criticized. We are providing constructive feedback to help guide you in a professional manner. Keep all of your drafts. Use a Word doc or a Google Doc. Keep folders. This is all the information I've written about this section of my paper and this concept and this concept. Keep everything organized in folders. Use one specific email address for all information regarding this project. All of your correspondence, when you're sending yourself information about articles for your journal alerts, and build a personal library. Use your citation manager and the journal alerts to build that library and keep those organized in your Word doc or your Google Doc folders. Set a reading schedule. Read 1, 2, 3 articles a week. Do your bullet points. Write your summary of that article. Keep your annotated bibliography organized. And stay focused on the stage you are in. Don't try to get ahead of yourself. Obtain the necessary approvals before moving forward to the next stage. And use those approval requirements as an outline to help organize your stages. Keep a running list of the questions for your librarian so that when we meet, you have all your questions organized and we can have a productive session. You could even send me those questions ahead of time before our meeting if you'd like, and then I could do some work before we meet and we could even have a more productive session. Please remember, you are a gold medal Olympian, but only if you consider this a process, a marathon, and you keep a steady pace. Thank you, and please remember, my email is at the bottom of the slide. Contact me anytime with any questions, and best of luck to you. I look forward to meeting with you in the future. Thank you.